Hi, my name is Ryan Jacobs, and today I'm taking photos with a really special camera. I have the Intrepid 8x10 View camera with me, and I'm going to be taking portraits of 3 of my classmates for a portrait project I'm working on. I also have a studio strobe. This is a Paul Buff Einstein, just one light and a softbox. And I want to show you how I actually take the photo and get the pose and expression I'm looking for. Then I'm going to develop all the film, go in the darkroom and print it, and I'm even going to show you how to mat it. So definitely watch till the end of this video. You don't want to miss any part of this process. How's it going? It's all right.
You decided to upgrade which camera you're going to bring. Last week you said you were going to do 4x5.
I got some 8x10 sheets. They're just sitting in the holder.
Nice.
Since I had
taking mug shots?
Yeah, that's right. This guy.
Oh.
You don't want to know.
No.
Have you used one of these guys?
No, I've never done like any kind of.
So this is my classmate Richard. He's our first victim today, and he's actually going to help me get set up. And by the way, we're outside, so there is a little wind noise, but if you have any trouble hearing what we're saying in this part of the video, feel free to turn on the subtitles. Do you have a cell phone with a flashlight? I just want to make sure that this isn't capturing anything outside of the backdrop. So I'm going to have you run it like up and down right here. Yeah, just run it up and down the edge for a sec. Cool. And then do it on the other side. Alright, and then walk towards the center of the backdrop. Perfect. And now one last thing, hold it up top. Right on the top edge there. And just slowly bring it down. Okay, yeah, hold on, it's a little high. Let me just get a little closer. Hey, there's Jenny.
Morning.
Alright, so Richard, you want to hop in there?
Sure.
You're next.
Actually, I just wanted to what's going on.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to learn how to take a photo.
I'm going to meet our ambient. So this is 125 f8. That's just the ambient light. But now I'm going to do it with the flash. I'm just going to have you hold this actually right up to your face.
Okay.
So by the way, I have the flash set 3 stops brighter than ambient here, so we are going to have some ambient light creeping into the picture. That's not something you'd necessarily always do, but because we have a nice overcast day, it's going to have the effect of filling the shadows left by the strobe, and I think we'll get a really nice result.
Good morning.
I almost forgot all of my photography stuff.
No.
So now I just got to focus.
What amount of my head and shoulders are you getting right
down
now?
to just above your waist.
Okay. Cool. Make sure.
Eventually, I might have you like do a little bit of a knee bend because you are too tall.
I've been hearing that my whole life.
So, and actually, could I have you step forward as well? Okay, terrific. And I'm going to back up to the light. And can you take one step this way? Perfect. Okay, now squat down a bit, just a little tiny bit more. Like a really deep squat. Yeah, that's where you're going to have to be. So just kind of remember that. Okay, now you can relax. You can stand up. You are on film holder number 1, if you want to remember it.
I think it's more important you remember it than I do.
You want a photo?
No, I'm just it looks cool.
It is very fun.
Good to get the squat on.
Yeah.
It's not a ergonomic squat, shall we say.
Yeah, getting that workout. Here's the trick though. Your hands are a little like by your sides. Yeah, cool. You can rest them like that or whatever you want to do. Or maybe like one a little bit lower. Like one, it's too straight up and down. Yeah, cool. Yeah, hold that. And then chin down just a bit. Yeah, lean towards the camera. Hold that. I think that was a really good one. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lexi, you want to take a photo? You won't have to squat. I don't. I think this will be a little easier. Check this out. Can you see her?
Oh.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
So then we're going to focus. I can use this to see. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Okay, take the baby step forward.
Some picture session here.
All right, so now, this is ready to go. That actually looks great. Cool. And just kind of like relax and, you know, space out, meditate. You got a little like hair on your shirt.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and this time, I kind of want to see those wrinkles. So can you like, put your, hold your hands kind of, maybe like clasp them in front of you. You can do like that. Yeah, perfect. And I like how you have your hands nice and loose like that. Yeah, so just kind of like, do your face like that too. Yeah, cool. Straight into the camera. Perfect. Hold that. Like 10% happy. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, hold that right there. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Didn't flash.
It didn't flash? Are you sure?
Or did it?
I thought it did.
Oh, okay.
I thought it did, but
Maybe
let's take one more just in case. Yeah.
Maybe I blinked. Maybe I blinked when it flashed.
I'm pretty sure it did, but if we're all set up, I don't want to mess it up. Because I like that. I like the one with the hands. So I'm sure we go. And then for this one, yeah, same thing. I like how the hands are nice and relaxed too. Before maybe you can move them down just a tiny bit. Yeah, perfect. So you're comfortable. And then yeah, look straight into the camera. And then you have this thing where like it's like a tiny corner of the mouth smile. It's like, you know, when you're yeah, exactly, just like that. Hold that right there. Beautiful. All right. When I'm talking to portrait subjects like this, I'm mainly looking for two things. One, I want an expression that they'd naturally make anyway. So for Lexi, it was that little corner of the mouth smile. That's something she sort of naturally does. The other thing I'm looking for is for people not to look miserable. So sometimes that little 10% happier is more about the eyes than it is about the mouth. You just get this little narrowing of the eyes that makes all the difference.
Oh yeah, oh my god, it took me a little bit back.
She's upside down.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's like you really have to like focus on your eyes on it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's cool.
Chin down. Yeah. Squint your eyes. Huh? Yeah. Not too much. Just a little bit. Yeah. Cool. A little smile though too. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'll hold that right there. Cool. I'll come to class later and have you guys airdrop those videos. I'm gonna make a little YouTube. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
So now it's time to develop this film. And one thing to know about 8x10 film development is if you have a tank like mine, you have to develop it one photo at a time. And it takes about half an hour per photo. So those 4 photos I took represent about 2 hours of work ahead of me. But that's alright, it's worth it in the end. Wait till you see these negatives. There they are. These two both came out great. I know there's a weird light leak on Richard's, but we're going to crop that out anyway. And then Lexi's is perfect. This negative is going to print wonderfully. Yinny's negative developed okay, but I'm not so happy with the expression I captured, so I think I'm not going to print this one. I'll just take a different photo of her on a different day. Okay, so now it's time to make some contact prints. We got our negative on our easel, and we got our timer that controls the enlarger here. That's going to project the light downward. And here's our line. We've got developer, stop bath, fixer, and water. Turn the lights out and let's make our first print. Here's Richard. I'm going to dodge his shadow side of his face a little bit. And then I also burned in his shirt just a little bit because his shirt was white and so it was pretty bright with that strobe shining on it. So here's the burning just a little bit. There's the dodging tool I'm using, by the way. That makes the picture lighter. And here's the burning tool that makes the picture darker. And now we're going to change the contrast. This enlarger is nice. You can just turn a dial to increase, or in this case, decrease contrast. There's also a little cheat sheet with filter conversion factors. And here's Lexi's print. You can see the light is a lot more yellow. That's lower contrast. We're going to dodge her face and her hands just a little bit. Now we're going to bring that print over to the developer. I still think this is one of the coolest inventions in human history. Look at that, it's magic every single time. There she is, and I'll show you Richard's print later. Beautiful. Okay, so let me show you my full printing progression. I started with a test strip for Richard, but that was too light, so I had to open up the aperture a little bit, do another one, and right around here is what I settled on. That's about 10 seconds. And then this is my test strip just with 10 seconds and the contrast turned up a little bit. Then I made my first print, but I burned this a little too much on his shirt. You can see it's a little dark. And so my final print, I just backed off the burning just a bit. And you can see I dodged his face a little more. That got some separation between him and the background. There is the final print. I'm really happy with this one, by the way. I think this one came out great. Now here's Lexi's series. This is her test strip, and that was a little too contrasty. That's why you saw I turned down the contrast for this one. But I also backed off the time, and that made the print a little bit too light, although the separation is nice, so I'm going to try and keep some of that. Here is a print with a little more time added on, but I wasn't too happy with the dodging here. I needed to dodge her hands just a little bit more and the edges a little bit more, so I got some separation there. It's hard to see from far away, but when you get up close, you actually can see that the black on her clothes is slightly different from the black on the background, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so our very last task is to mount and mat these prints. And I'm going to trim these first. I wouldn't normally do this, but they're kind of a weird size. So I'm just going to trim about 1/2 inch off each edge here. We're going to stop to give Elsa a hug because she's cool and she just got back from Mexico. Then we're going to trim the last edge. And now we are ready to dry mount this print. So we need a sheet of dry mount tissue, clean off the surface you're working on first. And then here's the tissue. We're going to adhere it to the print with this hot iron. And first I do a cross right in the center. And then I'm going to make sure that it actually stuck. You can see it did. Now I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to trim the tissue because you don't want to see the tissue hanging out past the edges of the print once it's mounted. So get everything the same size. And now we're going to adhere that dry mount tissue to the mat board. And I use my wallet to hold the print in place while I do this. I lift one corner of the print, leaving the tissue on the mat board surface. And then I take the tacking iron to the corner. And I just rotate and do the same thing on each of the other corners. Now you can see everything is being held together. Now it's time to put this in the dry mount press. It's one big sandwich. This is very hot. Let it go for a minute. And after a minute, that tissue will have adhered itself both to the print and to the mat board. And here's the final product. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with Lexi's print. I just did the exact same process, and now it's going in the dry mount press. Again, 1 minute, and out it comes. There it is. And that one curled a little bit, so I just put it under a big book to get it flat. Now this is my favorite machine of all time. This is a speed mat. So what you do is you measure out where you want it to be cut, and you move these little stoppers so that the machine automatically stops at those dimensions. And then you have to do it vertically as well. It's got stoppers on the top and bottom. There's a lot of math involved in this, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. And now the mat is going in, and this was actually a pre-cut mat, so all I'm doing is cutting the window a little bigger. You can also do it with a sheet of mat board that hasn't been cut at all. And you can see it makes 4 cuts. Came out perfect. Now I'm going to get the blade out, and I'm going to get the mat out. And there it is. I cut my window a little bigger, just the size of my photo. Perfect. Ha! Great success. Okay, so now we're going to open this up. We're going to tape a hinge. This is Filmoplast tape, by the way. You can also use linen tape or any kind of tape that's acid-free. And now we're going to tape a little roll in each corner so that when I close the overmat, it adheres. And now everything is put together. Elsa's going to come over again and take a look. And I can show her my beautiful print. So finally, I scanned these in just so I could show you, and in case you're wondering why we're doing all of this, let me zoom in on Lexi's photo just a little bit. There, that's why. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and every new subscriber helps me channel resources to building these videos. Thank you so much for watching.